Founded in 2013, Intuitive Machines, or IM for short, has skyrocketed from a humble idea sketched on a napkin to a powerhouse in lunar exploration, now boasting over 350 employees in its Houston, Texas headquarters. This space startup, led by founders Stephen Altemus, Cam Gafarayan, and Tim Crane, has carved out a significant niche in lunar activities. Their claim to fame? Successfully landing a lunar lander on the moon earlier this year in 2024, catapulting them from an obscure startup to the top lunar services company in the US. In this video, we'll keep the focus laser sharp on those lander missions, but stay tuned for more content where we will explore Moonracer, the lunar rover proposal. The company calls their lunar landers and associated services LPDS. It stands for Lunar Payload Delivery Services. NASA selected their LPDS program for 3 lunar missions through their CLPS program, that's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program. If you are not familiar with this NASA program, its purpose is to leverage commercial capabilities to deliver scientific and technology payloads to the moon. NASA is gradually transitioning most of its exploration activities to commercial companies. This started with commercial cargo services to the ISS, followed by commercial crewed missions, commercial spacesuits, commercial delivery of payloads to the moon, followed by commercial human landing system. I'll give an overview of their lunar missions first, and then we'll explore them in more detail later in the video. First up is IM-1 mission. This was the big debut, the moment where Intuitive Machines planted their flag on the moon. It wasn't just about getting there, it was about proving they could deliver NASA's precious cargo safely to the surface of the moon. IM-2 mission. This mission, launching in February 2025, is set to build on the success of IM-1. They're planning to ramp up the complexity and variety of payloads, showing off their ability to support more science on a premium location on the moon, Shackleton Crater. Then on to IM-3 mission. Looking even further ahead, IM-3 is when Intuitive Machines aims to push the boundaries even more, landing on an intriguing location, a lunar swirl. I'll explain more about that later. So now I've covered the NASA program that funds Intuitive Machines' lunar missions, let's look at their lunar lander itself. Intuitive Machines' lunar lander, Nova-C. Intuitive Machines' Nova-C lander is a result of a decade of engineering development, evolving from NASA's Project M and then Project Morpheus. Tim Crane, one of IM's founders, worked on Project Morpheus at NASA's Johnson Space Center, providing Intuitive Machines with direct access to the knowledge and expertise developed during these projects for their Nova-C design. Intuitive Machines offers a comprehensive lunar access service that includes not only the Nova-C lunar lander, but also a dedicated launch vehicle to deploy it into cislunar space. This service ensures a short transit time of typically 3 to 6 days and guarantees precise landings, so customers' payloads reach their intended lunar destinations accurately. You can see from the mission trajectory graphic the stages involved in each IM mission to the moon. In addition to the short transit time, IM offers between 1 to 5 days in various lunar orbits, depending on the landing location. Payloads of up to 375 kilos can be deployed into a 100 km circular orbit around the moon, and finally a precise landing on the lunar surface. Intuitive Machine purchases an entire SpaceX Falcon 9 vehicle for each mission, resulting in rideshare opportunities for companies that want to hitch a ride. This is great for companies that would like to fly on a cislunar or interplanetary trajectory. Their lunar transfer orbit delivery services can handle up to 1,000 kilos, that's 2,200 pounds, deploying payloads after the launch vehicle separates. Astroforge, an asteroid mining company, is part of the Nova-C payload and will separate in cislunar space to head towards the near-Earth asteroid. They will also participate in the IM-3 mission. Once landed, the Nova-C can deploy lunar assets. It can land payloads of up to 130 kilos on the moon's surface. A small lunar rover capable of hosting 6 kilos of payloads can explore up to 2 kilometers from the lander. Intuitive Machines is developing a lunar hopper that can carry up to 8 kilos. This device uses small thrusters to hop by lifting off and landing at different spots, allowing exploration up to 25 kilometers from the lander. It will be first used on the IM-2 mission, providing access to shadowed regions and craters, offering a unique navigation method on the moon. The company is also focusing on technology to survive the lunar night, which lasts 2 weeks with temperatures dropping to minus 173 degrees Celsius, that's minus 279 degrees Fahrenheit. In permanently shadowed craters, where there's high scientific interest and potential resources, temperatures can be as low as minus 233 degrees Celsius, that's minus 387 degrees Fahrenheit. Without heaters and sufficient battery storage to power them for 2 weeks, the lander systems would freeze, making the lander inoperable. Lunar missions past, present and future. Intuitive Machines has completed 1 lunar mission, with 2 more lunar missions launching soon. These missions are called IM-1, IM-2 and IM-3. We'll briefly describe each one here. IM-1, Odysseus. IM-1 kickstarted the commercial lunar economy by successfully delivering both commercial and NASA science payloads. This mission marked the first US vehicle to achieve a soft landing on the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. The Nova-C lunar lander, dubbed Odysseus, launched from a Falcon 9 rocket on the 15th of February 2024. After a brief transit, it made a successful landing on the moon's surface on the 22nd of February 2024. The chosen landing site was Malapert A, a satellite crater of the 69-kilometer wide Malapert crater, located in the moon's South Pole region, approximately 300 kilometers from the lunar South Pole. The Nova-C name combines Nova, meaning new, with C, the Roman numeral for 100. Think of Nova-C as Intuitive Machines' vehicle classification, similar to an SUV or pickup truck. After the successful soft landing of the Nova-C lunar lander on the moon, Steve Altemus, the CEO of Intuitive Machines, said, "Spaceflight's unique challenges are conquered on Earth but mastered in space. Our now proven robust lunar program, a national asset, feeds directly into our second and third missions. This success drives our relentless pursuit of performance excellence to benefit the entire industry." End quote. Here are some of the achievements by Intuitive Machines' first landing on the moon. Validated the performance of their liquid methane and liquid oxygen propulsion system through the first ever deep space ignition, followed by multiple restarts, repeatedly providing successful spacecraft maneuvers. Became the first commercial sector company, a NASA CLPS provider, to successfully land and transmit scientific data to and from the moon. Fundamentally disrupted the economics of landing on the moon through a fixed price performance contract, demonstrating the efficiency of commercial providers to NASA. Here are some of the first photos from Odysseus' lunar landing. This image, retrieved from the lander on the 27th of February, shows one of Odysseus' landing struts during touchdown, absorbing the initial impact from the lunar surface. At the same time, the lander's liquid methane and liquid oxygen engine was still throttling, providing stability. Intuitive Machine believes that these 2 key observations from the image allowed Odysseus to gently touch down, ensuring it could continue to send back scientific data. On the 27th of Feb, flight controllers directed Odysseus to take a new photo using its narrow field of view camera. Earlier attempts to send photos from the landing had resulted in unusable images. After successfully transmitting this image back to Earth, the flight controllers gained further understanding into Odysseus' position on the lunar surface. Before its power was depleted, Odysseus completed the fitting farewell transmission, received on the 29th of Feb. This image from the lunar landing shows the lunar vista with a crescent Earth in the backdrop. Okay, on to the IM-2 mission, dubbed Athena. This should be launching in February 2025. The upcoming IM-2 lunar landing mission, named Athena, is set to launch soon. It will land on a ridge close to Shackleton Crater, a location of high interest for NASA due to its potential resources. This site receives enough sunlight to power a lander for a 10-day mission and offers a clear line of sight to Earth for uninterrupted communication. IM-2's mission is to explore the lunar South Pole, with a particular emphasis on prospecting for water ice, which is crucial for future lunar habitats and propulsion. It has a number of interesting payloads. NASA is providing a regolith ice drill called Prime-1. Regolith is just lunar soil and dirt. It can drill up to 3 feet into the lunar surface to extract and analyze the soil for water content. Prime-1 will be the first demonstration of resource extraction on the moon, I mentioned the Lunar Hopper before. A small prototype called Micronova Hopper is on board IM-2. It will hop across the lunar surface and attempt to move into a permanently shadowed region to search for water ice. The landing site was carefully chosen to provide an opportunity to explore a small crater. After hopping into the crater to acquire pictures and science data, it will hop back out again and send the data to the lunar lander. Lunar Outpost, a startup specializing in lunar rovers, has included a rover that can collect samples, map the surface, and capture stereo images and thermal data. It carries its own set of payloads. For more on Lunar Outpost and their larger rovers for future Artemis missions, check out my video on them. Nokia has equipped the Lunar Outpost rover with a space-hardened 4G LTE network in a box. This rover will travel over a mile from the lander to test if Wi-Fi communication can function at such distances on the Moon. The rover will communicate with the lander, which then relays the information back to Earth. This is important as Axiom's spacesuit uses Wi-Fi for communication over multiple kilometer distances. This test of Wi-Fi communication paves the way for potentially high-definition video streaming from astronauts to base stations, vehicles to base stations, and more. NASA has awarded Intuitive Machines $116.9 million for this mission, which is relatively modest compared to the cost of traditional NASA lunar missions. IM-3 launching no earlier than October 2025. Intuitive Machines is currently working on its third lunar lander, IM-3, which is undergoing testing and systems integration as of August 2024. The Nova C lander is set to land in the Rhina Gamma region, one of the Moon's most distinctive and strange features. Known as a lunar swirl, Rhina Gamma is on the Moon's western edge, visible from Earth, and scientists are still exploring what these swirls are, how they form, and their connection to the Moon's magnetic field. Before diving into the payloads, I want to mention that Astroforge will include its asteroid landing satellite, Vestri, on this mission. This is a rideshare opportunity where Vestri will detach from the lunar lander once they reach cislunar space. Now onto the lunar lander payloads. Lunar Vertex will investigate magnetic anomalies associated with the Rhina Gamma lunar swirl. It has an array of sensors including a magnometer, a plasma spectrometer, and camera arrays. Once again, we have a lunar rover provided by Lunar Outpost on the lander. This rover is designed to travel 2 kilometers on the lunar surface, studying plasma and the dust environment. JPL, that's NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, is contributing 4 small rovers to demonstrate autonomous navigation and exploration. These rovers work together to explore the lunar surface. ESA, the European Space Agency, includes a payload under its Moonlight program aimed at providing lunar communications and precise pointing, crucial for future manned lunar missions. CASA, the South Korean Space Agency, has a payload to monitor the lunar space environment, specifically focusing on radiation and space weather. Another satellite on this mission is the CON-2 satellite, owned and operated by Intuitive Machines. It's part of the Lunar Data Relay Services program called Constellation with a K, where CON-2 is intended to be deployed to the Earth-Moon L2 point to support communications for lunar missions. The CON-2 satellite is part of NASA Lunar Communications contract with Intuitive Machines. This contract falls under NASA's Near Space Network to provide communication and navigation services for missions in the near space region, extending from Earth's surface to beyond the Moon. Intuitive Machines is tasked with deploying lunar relay satellites, including CON-2, to support these services. I will talk much more about this contract on Intuitive Machines communication services in another video. Upcoming events. In a few weeks, at the time of recording of this video, IM-2 is scheduled to launch. It should launch in February of 2025. IM-3 launches no earlier than October of 2025. Okay, that's it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe so you'll see our upcoming videos. We make videos every week covering the space industry, with an emphasis on the smaller space startups that aren't covered so well on other channels. See you soon.